is, can the Nets afford to be patient here, or do they need to change something?
They don't have a choice. And, obviously what Vince is talking about is what a lot of people are talking about. And the scouts who have been dispatched to watch Ben Simmons closely, and there have been a lot early in this season, believe the reason that Ben Simmons doesn't go aggressive isn't because he's afraid of missing the shot as much as he's afraid of being fouled. He's only taken 9 free throws the entire season so far. He's only made 3 of them. I mean, you look at Kyrie telling him to shoot. He was in a position there where he was very likely to be fouled. He's not afraid necessarily of missing the shot. And the other thing that has bothered scouts who have watched Ben Simmons play is his reaction to being in foul trouble. Now, in this game here the other night, this is the 6th foul. He was upset about this, but I've talked to scouts who have watched repeatedly as Ben Simmons gets into foul trouble and gets pulled out of the game, and they believe, I don't know if it's exactly how he feels, but the scouts believe he almost looks like he's relieved to be coming out of the game at times. So I can understand why his teammates are already trying to be protective of him. But the thing that sticks out to me, the big worry point for the Nets, Durant, Irving, and Simmons have played 77 minutes together so far this season. That's a pretty big amount for 4 games. They've been outscored in those 77 minutes by 30 points. That's their big 3 guys, and that's really worrisome, those results, in addition to what Simmons is doing individually.
Perk?
Well, Kyrie said that have patience with him. Kyrie and the Brooklyn Nets could have patience with Ben Simmons, but us as fans and us in the media, why do we have to have patience with a guy that was drafted the #1 pick overall, a guy that chose to quit on his team last season, a guy that basically at one point wanted to give Philly the option between to pick out of him and Embiid of who was going to be the franchise guy. And look, I understand. I get this, right? I'm not going to keep beating on this drum about Ben Simmons' offense. At this point, he has shown us who he is, and that's who he is. I don't think there's no coming back from it. He's not going to look at the basket. Forget even shooting the basketball. I watched about a handful of times where he set the screen, could have actually rolled to the basket, but he didn't even dive to the basket because he was afraid of even getting the ball to finish for a layup. Let's talk about the defensive side of things. Yesterday, Giannis was imposing his will. Old school daddy ball on the low block. I hadn't seen that many drop steps since Shaquille O'Neal. Ben Simmons is 6'10", 250 pounds. I didn't see him go on that end and try to check him up. Forget the offensive end. Impact on the defensive end. They didn't trade Ben Simmons for James. They didn't trade James Harden to get Ben Simmons to come in and be a below average or average player. They brought him in to be an all defensive type of player and an all-star caliber player. So talking about having patience, no, we can't have patience. And it's not what he did last year, it's how he did it. And so the way that he did it and forced his way out of Philly, it's no way that you could come back and start the season and look the same as what you did the last time we saw you in the postseason when you was playing against the Atlanta Hawks.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.